Welcome back to History Unveiled. Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating and intense rivalries in medieval history. Imagine a battle so fierce that it changed the fate of a city revered by both Christians and Muslims. In the heart of the 12th century, Jerusalem stood as the epicenter of a historic showdown between two of the most legendary figures of the Crusades. Baldwin IV, the valiant leper king fighting to defend his crumbling kingdom, and Saladin, the formidable leader determined to reclaim a sacred city. Join us as we unravel the dramatic clash that reshaped the course of history and left an indelible mark on both East and West. So, grab your swords and shields, and let's get started. To fully grasp the gravity of this confrontation, we must first delve into the historical landscape of the late 12th century. It's the year 1180, and the Kingdom of Jerusalem, a vital Crusader state established during the First Crusade, is in a precarious position. This kingdom, founded in 1099, had endured numerous challenges, but none as daunting as the threat posed by the formidable Saladin. Baldwin IV, often referred to as the Leper King, ascended the throne in 1174. His youth was marked by both triumph and tragedy. Diagnosed with leprosy at a young age, he was burdened with a debilitating disease that could have easily crippled his leadership. Despite this, Baldwin displayed remarkable resilience and strategic prowess. Ascending to the throne at merely 13 years old, Baldwin IV was thrust into a role fraught with challenges. His early reign was characterized by intense efforts to stabilize and unite the fractured Crusader states, which were plagued by internal strife and external pressures. Baldwin's leadership was tested by the need to forge alliances, quell dissent, and defend his kingdom from increasingly aggressive Muslim forces. Meanwhile, Saladin, the Sultan of Egypt and Syria, was consolidating his power with remarkable speed and efficiency. His ambition was clear: to reclaim Jerusalem, a city of immense spiritual and strategic significance for the Muslim world. By the 1180s, Saladin's forces had grown formidable, setting the stage for an inevitable clash with Baldwin IV's besieged kingdom. Understanding the context of their struggle involves recognizing the geopolitical landscape of the time. The Crusader states, although established with great zeal, faced constant threats from various Muslim empires. Baldwin IV's kingdom, though resilient, was on the brink of significant upheaval as Saladin's empire continued to expand. Saladin, born in 1137 in Tikrit, modern-day Iraq, emerged as one of the most formidable figures of the medieval world. His journey from a regional commander to the Sultan of Egypt and Syria is a testament to his exceptional leadership and strategic brilliance. By the time the 1180s arrived, Saladin had unified a fragmented Muslim world under his banner, setting his sights firmly on Jerusalem. Saladin's rise was marked by a series of decisive campaigns that expanded his control across Egypt and Syria. His strategic prowess was evident in battles that showcased his ability to adapt and outmaneuver his opponents. By 1180, Saladin's empire was a sprawling force, encompassing vast territories and providing him with the resources needed for his ambitious plans. Saladin's military campaigns were legendary, characterized by both audacious strategies and meticulous planning. His ability to rally and maintain a formidable army was complemented by his adeptness in siege warfare and battlefield tactics. The Siege of Jerusalem in 1187, for instance, exemplified his skill in turning the tide against the Crusader forces. Beyond the battlefield, Saladin's reputation was bolstered by his diplomatic finesse. He was known for his fairness and chivalry, qualities that earned him respect even from his adversaries. His diplomatic efforts to unite the Muslim factions and his conduct during negotiations highlighted his commitment to a cause larger than himself, restoring Muslim control over the Holy Land. Saladin's leadership was not solely defined by conquest. He was a figure of honor and integrity, often praised for his noble treatment of prisoners and his efforts to ensure that his campaigns were conducted with a sense of justice. His vision was to restore the Muslim faith and reclaim Jerusalem, a city revered across the Islamic world. As tensions between the Crusader kingdom and Saladin's forces escalated, the inevitable clash between these two formidable leaders loomed large. Baldwin IV, fully aware of the imminent threat, knew that decisive action was required to safeguard his beleaguered kingdom. The stage was set for one of the most pivotal confrontations of the medieval period. In 1177, Baldwin IV orchestrated a remarkable victory at the Battle of Montjuic. Despite facing a numerically superior enemy, Baldwin's tactical genius and the resilience of his troops turned the tide in a dramatic fashion. The battle unfolded with Baldwin leading a surprise assault on Saladin's forces, catching them off guard and ultimately forcing them into retreat. This stunning triumph was a testament to Baldwin's military acumen and his ability to inspire his men against overwhelming odds. The Battle of Montjuic was more than just a victory, It was a powerful statement of Baldwin IV's leadership and his determination to protect his realm. However, while this victory offered a glimmer of hope, it was merely a temporary reprieve in an ongoing struggle. Saladin, undeterred by this setback, began to regroup and prepare for a more substantial campaign aimed directly at Jerusalem. Saladin's response was swift and methodical. His strategic mind focused on the long game, meticulously planning a larger and more coordinated assault. He began consolidating his forces, securing alliances, and fortifying his position to ensure that his next campaign would be even more formidable. The battle for Jerusalem was far from over, and both leaders braced for the next chapter in this epic struggle. With both sides preparing for the inevitable confrontation, the stage was set for a monumental clash that would determine the fate of Jerusalem. Baldwin IV, despite his fragile health, remained a central figure in the defense of his kingdom. Saladin, with renewed resolve and a larger force at his command, was determined to achieve what had eluded him before. The conflict was about to reach its climax. The culmination of this fierce struggle came in 1187, with Jerusalem poised at the center of a monumental clash. After years of intermittent skirmishes and strategic maneuvers, Saladin orchestrated a full-scale assault on the city. Jerusalem, a jewel of immense significance, became the focal point of a relentless siege. By this time, Baldwin IV's health had deteriorated significantly, undermining his capacity to lead effectively. His leprosy, which had progressively worsened over the years, left him increasingly incapacitated. Alongside his physical challenges, Baldwin faced internal dissent and political instability within his kingdom, further complicating his efforts to defend Jerusalem. Despite Baldwin's unwavering resolve and strategic planning, the kingdom was beset by mounting difficulties. The Crusader forces, already weakened and demoralized, struggled to mount a coherent and effective defense against Saladin's formidable army. The prolonged siege saw intense fighting, with Saladin's forces employing a range of tactics to breach the city's defenses. Saladin's siege was characterized by a methodical and relentless approach. His forces employed siege engines, constructed extensive fortifications around the city, and cut off vital supplies, effectively isolating Jerusalem. The defenders, despite their valiant efforts, faced overwhelming odds. The city's walls, once formidable, were gradually worn down by the sustained assault. After weeks of intense and grueling combat, the city's defenses were finally breached. On October 2nd, 1187, Jerusalem fell to Saladin's forces. The capture of the city marked a significant turning point in the conflict, with the fall of Jerusalem signaling a major victory for Saladin and a devastating blow to the Crusader states. The fall of Jerusalem was met with a mix of relief and mourning. Saladin, true to his reputation, allowed for a relatively lenient surrender, providing safe passage to many of the city's inhabitants. This act of clemency stood in contrast to the brutality of the siege and highlighted Saladin's commitment to his principles, even in victory. The fall of Jerusalem in 1187 was a watershed moment in the Crusades, reshaping the political and religious dynamics of the region. Saladin's victory was not merely a military triumph. It was a profound shift in the balance of power. Celebrations erupted across the Muslim world as Saladin was hailed as a liberator and a hero who had restored a cherished city to Islamic control. Saladin's success resonated deeply within the Islamic world, reinforcing his reputation as a unifying force who transcended regional rivalries. His leadership fostered a renewed sense of cohesion among Muslim states and set the stage for a period of consolidation and resurgence. Saladin's governance of Jerusalem was marked by an emphasis on religious tolerance and reconstruction, aimed at healing the wounds of war. Tragically, Baldwin IV's reign was cut short by his debilitating illness. By 1185, just 2 years before the fall of Jerusalem, Baldwin succumbed to leprosy, leaving behind a legacy marked by both his valiant defense of the Crusader states and the heavy burden of his illness. His death represented a profound loss for the Crusaders, who faced increasing internal divisions and external threats. Though Baldwin IV's time on the throne was brief, his courage and determination left a lasting impression on history. His leadership during one of the most turbulent periods of the Crusades was remembered as a testament to resilience in the face of overwhelming adversity. Saladin, on the other hand, became an enduring symbol of Muslim strength and unity. His legacy extended beyond his military victories. He was admired for his chivalry, magnanimity, and strategic acumen. As the Crusades continued, Saladin's influence remained a powerful force, shaping the course of subsequent events and maintaining his place as a noble adversary of the Crusaders. The epic saga of Baldwin IV and Saladin is a reminder of the complex history of Jerusalem and the intertwined fates of different civilizations. If you enjoyed this deep dive into history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more captivating stories from the past. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.